Good Friday, April the 2nd, 2015. London's Hatton Garden, the Diamond District, the most concentrated collection of jewellery businesses and secure storage facilities in Britain, is quiet. The Easter bank holiday has emptied the streets. The shops are closed. The offices are dark. The security cameras are running, but there is almost no one to watch. At some point during that long holiday weekend, 6 men in high-visibility jackets and hard hats descend into the lift shaft of a building at number 88 to 90 Hatton Garden. They are carrying industrial drilling equipment. They are carrying tools. They are carrying holdalls, and several of them are carrying pension cards. The youngest member of the group is 57 years old. The oldest is 76. Their combined age is 448 years. And over the next 3 days, Easter Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they will execute what the British courts would later describe as the largest burglary in English legal history. My name is the voice behind Creepy Chronicles, and tonight's investigation is the story of how 6 elderly men with decades of criminal experience between them pulled off a heist so audacious, so meticulously planned, and so bizarrely executed that even the police who caught them expressed a degree of reluctant admiration for the sheer scale of what they had attempted. Every detail in this investigation comes from the court record, the police investigation file, and confirmed journalism from the BBC, The Guardian, and The Times. This is not folklore. This is what actually happened. The Hatton Garden Safe Deposit facility was, by any reasonable assessment, one of the most secure storage locations in London. The vault was protected by a reinforced concrete wall 50 centimetres thick. The building had multiple alarm systems. Access to the vault was restricted. Safe deposit box owners, many of them jewellers who stored their most valuable stock there, had paid for that security specifically because they trusted it. The gang had been planning the operation for months. They had identified the lift shaft as the entry point, accessible from the roof of the building with relative ease, compared to the alarmed ground floor entrances. They had sourced an industrial Hilti DD350 diamond tip drill, the kind of equipment used in professional construction demolition. They had rehearsed the route. They had also identified the alarm, and one member of the group, a man who would not be publicly identified for 4 more years, had disabled it before the team descended. On the night of Good Friday into Saturday, the gang descended the lift shaft and began drilling. The Hilti drill cut through the 50-centimetre vault wall at a rate that made the operation feasible but slow. They worked through the night. And then something went wrong. One of the drill bits broke. The hole was not yet large enough to enter. The team abandoned the operation on Saturday and left. They came back on Sunday night. This time they completed the hole. It was approximately 25 centimetres in diameter, barely large enough for a man to squeeze through. The gang's oldest member, Brian Reader, had left by this point. He was 76 years old and reportedly unwell. The remaining team took turns squeezing through the gap in the vault wall. Inside, they found 73 safety deposit boxes. They raided all of them. Gold, diamonds, sapphires, cash, items that box holders had stored specifically because they were irreplaceable. Over the course of several hours, the gang filled holdalls with an estimated £14 million worth of valuables. They left through a fire exit, disguised as workmen, in the middle of Easter weekend, with £14 million of someone else's property. The discovery was made on the Tuesday after Easter. A member of staff arriving to open the facility found the signs of the breach: the damaged lift shaft, the drilled vault wall, the ransacked boxes. The Metropolitan Police Flying Squad, the specialist unit responsible for investigating serious armed robbery and large-scale theft, was called in, and what followed was an investigation that was, in its own way, as extraordinary as the heist itself. The gang were not sophisticated digital criminals. They were old-school thieves who communicated in person and by phone. They met in a pub. They drove to a lockup in North London, where they began sorting and distributing the stolen goods, and at least 2 of them talked, at length, with considerable pride, about what they had done. The police had installed a listening device in Terry Perkins's car. They recorded him telling his associate Daniel Jones that it was, in his words, the biggest robbery in the fucking world. He described the division of roles, the planning, the execution. He talked about using his share to fund his pension. By May 2015, Brian Reader, Terry Perkins, John Collins, and Daniel Jones had been arrested. By September, they had pleaded guilty. In January 2016, they were sentenced. Reader, the oldest at 76, received a reduced sentence due to his health. Perkins, Collins, and Jones each received 7 years. 3 further members of the gang were convicted at trial. And then there was the 6th man, Known to investigators only as Basil, the sixth raider had disabled the alarm on the night of the heist. He had used an insider contact to access the building's alarm system. He had let the other gang members in through the fire exit. And then, he had disappeared. For 4 years, Basil's identity remained unknown. The investigating team had limited CCTV footage of him, always wearing a disguise. They had almost no forensic evidence, and none of the other gang members, even after conviction, named him. It was a walking gate that finally identified him. A forensic gate analyst examined CCTV footage frame by frame and concluded that the walk of the unidentified man matched the walk of a 58-year-old man named Michael Seed. Seed was tried in 2019. He was convicted. He became the last of the Hatton Garden gang to be sentenced. The court ordered the 4 ringleaders to collectively repay £27.5 million, or serve an additional 7 years each. The figure was higher than the estimated value stolen, because the court assessed the full benefit the men had received from their criminal careers more broadly. Terry Perkins died 1 week after the confiscation hearing. Brian Reeder died in 2023. The money they each held was never recovered. Of the £14 million stolen in the Hatton Garden heist, only £4.3 million has been officially recovered. The remaining £9.7 million, approximately 2/3 of the total, has never been found. The safety deposit box owners who lost irreplaceable items, jewelry, documents, family heirlooms, received no compensation from the thieves. Many had not insured their deposits because they trusted the vault. The Hatton Garden heist became a film. It became a television drama. It became folklore. The image of elderly men in high-visibility jackets drilling through a vault wall and walking out with millions has a quality that borders on absurdist comedy, and that quality has obscured something important about what the case actually represents. The safety deposit box owners were not abstract victims. They were individuals who trusted a system to protect things that could not be replaced. That system was breached by 6 men with industrial equipment and decades of criminal knowledge. The security that was sold to them failed, and the people responsible are largely dead. The money is largely gone, and the items that were taken are, in most cases, gone forever. Creepy Chronicles investigates the cases that deserve more than the version of them that enters popular culture. Every Thursday and every Sunday, real, documented, told without apology. The biggest burglary in English legal history was committed by men old enough to collect their pensions. Most of the money is still out there somewhere. Nobody is looking for it anymore.